Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Trevor Ohlsen Show, episode 99 on Wednesday, February. I didn't look at the date. February 2nd, 2022. I am your host, Trevor Ohlsen. It's good to be here. If you'd like to support the show, you can head over to patreon.com/Trevor Ohlsen, where I do this the same thing. I do the same thing, not similar, the exact same thing, every Saturday. So normal podcasts, free on YouTube, Spotify, everywhere. On Wednesdays, same shit on Saturdays. It's the best way to support the show. It's one of the best ways to support anything creative that I'm doing, from music to podcasts to any type of other creative endeavor I am interested in at the time that I'd like to keep doing. So head over to patreon.com/Trevor Ohlsen if you'd like to support the show. And yeah, okay, so moving on, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? The host for the evening, I usually say like, I'm the host, afternoon, evening, night, wherever you are in the world, kind of thing. Trevor Ohlsen, it's good to be here. What's up? What's up? How are you? How are things? Are you happy with your life? Just going to a big ol' let's do 30 minutes of therapy here. How's your relationship with your parents? What's going on? We've got episode 3 out in Sweden. We're going to continue to kind of discuss the episodes here as they go on, because I've never had the chance to do that before. So again, was gonna have Kevin Chown on the show, and we're not doing that. I messaged him. He's busy. He's moving, like his house is getting moved. He's getting a house. He's taking a house. It's somewhere, and it's going elsewhere. And apparently he doesn't have time to do the podcast. I don't know. He's busy. So again, you're stuck with me here. But that's been this fucking show. Episode 3 came out. Quite the show. And let me tell you, quite the experience at the time. It was interesting, to say the least, when we rolled up to Gotland, Gotland. I remember somebody telling me it was pronounced like Gotland. Gotland is the proper way, and I just thought of goats. How you doing? Welcome to Gotland. Gotland. It was cool. We rolled up on the ship. I remember I was kicking it with Brett up top as we're sailing on the Baltic Sea. Loving life, being on a Swedish reality television show, fucking drifting across the ocean. He was having drinks. I wasn't drinking at the time, still not really drinking. I remember we just were kicking it. The sun was shining. We were getting a little tan going on. It was quite nice. But yeah, so it's funny, with all the episodes, we never know what to expect. They never tell us anything. It's truly, we never know what's going on. And so we roll up to Gotland. We knew that there was some type of medieval festival going on, which I had never heard of, had never experienced before. I don't even want to say I'd ever even heard the word cosplay before, which for me, it sounds like a sexual thing. Cosplay. It's like what's the things that people do? Like if you're a big hairy man, you're called like a bear. That whole community of people. When I think of cosplay, I immediately think, my mind goes to that stuff, which I'm not sure why, and I don't know what that stuff's called. What's it called? Let me know in the comments, folks. Are you a bear? What would I be? I don't know what I would be considered. So I knew there was a medieval festival going on, and there, obviously we're gonna be participating if that's what's happening. And so, yes, met up outside of the little castle. That cute girl who's like, "Oh, you need to change. You need to get in the proper attire." She didn't sound like that. It kind of looks like I checked her out when I walked up. I kind of like eye her up and down, which I did because she was attractive. But yeah, so we changed into some interesting attire, to say the least. Uh, it was just really silly. Like everybody, um, we're just kind of handed all these clothes. You see them hanging up. We throw them on, and then I remember too. Yeah, it's all coming back to me now thinking about it. So we had our suitcases there, out of shot, out of the frame. You don't see it, and because we had to take them off the ship, and I'm trying to think what they did. That's right. Usually we were staying in hotels, and that night we slept in those tents, which was lovely. I did sneak peanut butter in, which they told me to do. But anyway, yeah. Usually we would go, we'd film, and we'd stay in a hotel. But that night they said pack a bag. I say bag. Pack a bag and take your essentials. And so, of course, I stuffed peanut butter in there. And then they brought us to these tents, and everyone was like, are we really sleeping in these tents? But we had slept in a barn at that point, which we did sleep in episode 2, so the tent wasn't that surprising. I remember Brett, too. Brett, him and I were sleeping next to each other, or we were supposed to, and then he asked, but he didn't. What did he say? He wanted to. Long story short, Brett just ended up sleeping outside, and he was in the military, and so he's like, I just remember him referencing the military. He's like, I've been in worse places before, so he's sleeping outside under the stars. Freezing cold. It got quite cold at night. I remember him being freezing. And I remember him asking Sharon if they could like switch. I think if Sharon could sleep next to me and he could sleep there for some reason. I'm trying to remember why. I might be wrong. And Sharon was just like, no. And then he got pissed and then he slept outside. But yeah. It was funny kind of sleeping in the tent. Because we just never knew where we were sleeping, and we always were hoping for a hotel. And when we got the hotel, we were always hoping that they'd book us, private rooms so that we could each have our own room, which we typically had. Sometimes we had to share. Like one time, John and I had to share a hotel room, but it was so small, we just said fuck it, and we paid for our own rooms. And yeah. So we wanted our privacy at the end of the days, but we slept in a tent that night, and I was smart. I brought earplugs and rubbed peanut butter all over Brett's chest when he wasn't conscious at night. No, but what else? What happened in that episode? I watched it. I swear. Nikki? It was Nikki's episode. I was quite moved by her story, actually, because we don't really hear about it while we're there. And so I was quite moved because she got very emotional. And I thought the stories, I thought it was very eye-opening for her. I think she learned a lot, and you could kind of see, am I hearing sirens? No. You could kind of, you could see how moved she was by it. And so there's something about that, where you see somebody experiencing something and you try to put yourself in that perspective and try to see it from that viewpoint, where you can be empathetic towards the feelings that they're having. So again, I was just happy for her. And even though it was quite a tragic story, everyone's fucking dying in the ocean. Yeah, sorry, we're in Los Angeles, folks, if you hear sirens. There was like a home invasion the other day. I'm outside, sitting outside, and all of a sudden I'm talking to my sister on FaceTime, and just seeing how she's doing, and this damn noise, and this helicopter flies by, and they're spotlighting. I'm like, oh, that's cool, and then it comes right by the house, and it's over the house spotlighting, like not far from me. I'm like, huh. Well, it's night, and that means they're looking for someone. Huh, who could they be looking for? perhaps a fleeing criminal. And so I put two and two together and said, I must be within rather close proximity of this fleeing criminal. So I said, hold on, sis, I'm going to go lock myself in my bedroom upstairs, which I did. I locked all the doors and went upstairs, locked everything. And I think we found out the next day it was like a home invasion, like a couple blocks away. So that's nice to know. That'll put you to sleep at night. But anyway, it was, yeah. It's a noisy place sometimes. I think the garbage truck's out there right now. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted by all this noise. It was Nikki's, it's so loud. Nikki's episode, and just listen. Listen to it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm very distracted. Focus, Trevor. Focus. Nikki's episode. Okay, great. What happened else? What else happened? Melody. Also Melody. We got to hear about her story. And also very cool. It was fun to see, how, Melody is quite the intellectual, and she's a librarian, and it was cool to see as well that, she had a librarian in her past as well. And I think everybody found that interesting. It's just fun to see, why we are the way we are. And this show does a fantastic job at illuminating that for everybody. John kind of figures out why he's, he finds out his cousin's in a metal band, so he's a creative person. John's a creative person as a music producer. Melody with the library thing. Yeah. So what else happened? Shit, I'm spacing you guys. Hold on. Let me pull it up. I've got it right here. Oh yes. Oh yeah, the Vikings. Oh yeah, I saw somebody ask. I think it was like the Allt for Sverige page. They're like, "What was your favorite memory about Gotland?" And I almost commented and was like, "I made out with the really hot girl," but I didn't. But I did. Her name's Lynn. Lynn, are you out there? No, Lynn was just this cute girl. We were having lunch, and this was like one of the days we were filming. And I was just sitting down, being my Viking self, with my Viking clothes on. And this cute girl walked in. I smiled at her, and she smiled back. And I was like, oh, yeah. There's my in. And so I went up to her. I spotted her. Like, that's not to make me sound creepy. We saw her again later on. And I walked up to her and introduced myself. And basically, again, because we don't have cell phones, so I told her, I didn't know if we were gonna keep filming that night or what, but I told her, I was like, listen, if I'm free, I don't have a cell phone, therefore I cannot contact you. And I don't even know if I'm free, but on the off chance that I'm free, I would like to get together with you. And I said, let's get together. And then she said that she was going out to like the town square or something like that. And I was like, okay, if we're meant to hang out, I'll head there, and we'll have to literally run into each other. And so I ended up not being done filming. We went back to the hotel, and I immediately grabbed a cab, or I rode with somebody who was taking care of us. I rode back into town and went to the town square, ran into like the head producer of the show, and he was like, what are you doing here? And he's this big, intimidating man. He's a lovely man, but he's a huge Viking. And I'm like, hi. And I was just like, oh, I'm done filming for the day. And I ran into the whole crew basically. And so I made it a point to get away from them, because you're supposed to be separate. And so I saw them at a restaurant, so I went to this other restaurant. And funny enough, I ran into Lynn, or Lynn ran into me, or whatever. I was sitting at the bar, having a non-alcoholic beer, and then her and I hung out and had a good time. I met her. I met her mom. Met her mom the day I meet her, and met her sister. And then her mom went home, and I went and hung out with her and her sister. No, not sister, friend. Not sister, friend. And we went to this bar. It was like a fun club bar thing, and it was really fun. Oh, funny story. Funny story. So we're into each other clearly. And what did I do? Oh yeah, she had a wristband. She had a wristband on her wrist. She's like, I can't get this wristband off. And I was like, I'll get it for you. And so I like this. I grab it on both sides of her wrist, and I just like start pulling really hard, and it rips open. And I, without exaggerating, punch her in the face like a full-on bam, like right on their cheek. Wasn't her nose, but just like smashed her face. And she was like both her and I just kind of went. And then I just grabbed her and started making out with her. That was my in. That was truly. I was like, oh, what can I do? And then I just started making out. But she was a sweet girl. She was a sweet girl. And yeah, that's the first time I ever punched a girl in the face and then made out with her. So I don't condone hitting women in the face, but that time it worked. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, what did I do? Anyway, I need to get a thing on this chair. It's all rocky. What else happened in this episode? Let's find out. I believe I can fly. Yeah, Nikki's story. Yep. Sally and I and Melody did the whole fucking letting people in. Melody's like, oh, keep a sheep's distance. Excuse me. Which she was told to say, stuff like that. But I just remember I was like yelling. I'm like, right this way, folks. Right this. They didn't put that in. The Americans are here to help. Gotland. But yeah, Gotland was. I'm looking at the stuff. Then we learned about Beowulf. That was neat. Oh, funny scene about the Beowulf scene where we're learning about it. You'll notice that Erica is wearing shorts. And what they don't show is that she sat on an anthill. And during filming, Erica just stands up and she's like, fuck. And she stands up, she just starts wiping her legs off, and she runs away like a crazy person. And she comes back and she's like, I'm getting eaten up by ants. And then we look where she was sitting, and she was sitting on a full-on anthill. And it was like not just a few ants, like a bunch of ants. And so that was quite funny. And then I just started giving her shit. I was like, who wears short shorts in the forest? And yeah, but she got eaten up by ants. That was quite funny. She was all right, and that's why it was funny. What else? Yeah, Melody's story. That was cool. Ah, yes, the first competition. Yeah, that was first little competition there at the end. Yeah, what's interesting about the competitions is that I think you can see there's a big building, and we were actually behind the building. Excuse me. I think I have indigestion. Something's going on. So we were behind the building, and we weren't allowed to watch what was going on. And so when they came around the corner, we really didn't know who had won, if it was Brittany or Melody. Obviously, you see now that Brittany won, and that Melody is the first to go. She will be missed. May she rest in peace. Yes, yeah. It was the first, well, it wasn't my first. Sorry, I'm all over the place. My mind's all over the place. It wasn't the first competition, but it was the first elimination. That's what I'm trying to say. Spit it out, Trevor. That's what I'm trying to say. Yes. And I do, and I you hear me say in there, I say I think Brittany's a more competitive person, and I think that just happened to be the case. I think Melody, I'm not speaking ill of her at all. I just think Brittany was a bit more competitive. I think she wanted it a little bit more, And yeah, I think that's probably, and perhaps it was just to her ability to memorize that was superior. It seemed to be the case. Watching the competition, that's ultimately how Brittany won. She didn't mess up, and Melody messed up 3 times, and then she had to go. But yes, she will be missed. I remember too, you guys. Um, the should I talk about this? I don't know. Maybe I'll talk about it. Doesn't It's not giving anything away. But after Melody got eliminated, um, somebody came over, and I'm like hesitant to talk about it. Oh well, I'll talk about it. The producer came over, and we don't know what happened, but all of a sudden he was very upset, and we were all excited because we were moving on from there. The competition was over, and he just like blew up at us, and not even blew up. He's just like a clear, direct man. But we were all like, "Oh shit!" It was just it was a big buzzkill. Because we had been enjoying ourselves, we'll say. We had been following all the precautions because it was COVID still going on and all that shit. But people had been drinking. Somebody had been kind of promiscuous. Was meeting people, making out with them. Which you can't really keep a 6-foot distance if you're making out with people. So I think there was also some rumors going around. He's like, "You're using drugs, you're partying, you're fucking around." And we're like, "Ah," and he's looking at every individuals as it's going on. We're all like freaking out. But yeah, that happened right after, and then what did we do? Yeah, then we took the ship back from there to wherever we went. Wherever we're going next. And next week, folks, it was revealed. It's my episode, which is exciting. Yeah, we never know. I never know. None of us know whose episode is really who, I don't think. Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm excited to see next week's episode. I was almost a little nervous to see that it was my week. And I think it's because, it'll probably be the most vulnerable I am on camera. Learning what I learn, and without giving anything away, and so it'll be probably emotional. I don't know what they captured and everything like that. But anytime you're vulnerable on camera, it's easy to overthink what people will think about you. But I don't know. I think I've done enough videos and enough things, enough like live music shows that I'm just kind of used to being vulnerable in front of people, and I mean and people like that when people. That's what people want. People want authenticity and to be vulnerable and to be for the person that they're watching just to be real. That's what people want. I think people want that more than ever, and those are the people that I admire, like singer-songwriters who write really vulnerable songs. Podcasts where people are just themselves. Those are the types of ones that I love. And so yeah, it'll be good. I'm excited to see it. And yeah, I remember, speaking of singer-songwriters being vulnerable, there was this kid. He had the craziest eyes we would call them crazy eyes, in Minneapolis when I used to live there when I was going to college. And we were doing the open mic scene, the open mic circuit. And this kid was around my age, and he was talking about how he was hesitant to perform his own music because it was vulnerable and honest, and then he was worried about people judging him. And I was like, bro, that's the point. Like, all the music that you love, it's people being authentic, it's people being vulnerable, it's people opening themselves up to the world. Risking. It's a risk. It isn't. It is and it isn't. Because I think of risk, I think of like you're gonna die. Some type of serious heavy risk. It's like the only real risk is that maybe somebody's gonna be like, I didn't like it, or they'll be mean to you, in which case they're just an asshole and you don't want to hang out with them anyway. So, but that's the type of music that I fell in love with, and I think that's why I write the way I write. And so that's the point. Any of you singer-songwriters out there, creative people, you just can't care what people think. And I think that's probably a muscle you learn to develop. And I also probably think that it's impossible not to care. When people say, like, I don't care what people think, I don't know if that's true. I think you can work on it, but I think fundamentally as human beings, we are wired to care what people think. It's kind of like the idea of tribes. Like, you care what people think, because if you don't care what anyone thinks, maybe you do something stupid and you get kicked out of the tribe, and then you're alone and you die in the Sahara. You see a seashell and you realize this used to be an ocean. You go, oh, the irony. So, yeah, I don't know where I was going with all that. Never know where I'm going with this, folks. Just so you know, too, when the television show ends, this podcast, that scene in what's that show? The Wolf of Wall Street. Matthew McConaughey. Mm-hmm. 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 I love Matthew McConaughey. Matthew McConaughey, if you haven't read his book Green Lights, give it a read. Man, it's a good one. All right. One of my favorites. Yes. This podcast, well, clearly, as you know, I don't even have to say this. I'm just trying to fill in the last 3 minutes, folks. This is episode 99, and so it's been going on for a while. So be sure to stick around for the next 99 episodes after this. I don't know. I'd like to start, I was looking up cameras today because I'm filming with my phone right now. And I have a bit more control of the lighting. As you can see, I bought myself a curtain. It's white and bluish. It's pretty. Got the light up there. There's the ceiling light here. I'm trying to get some balance. But I think I'm going to get a good camera so that the video quality is a bit better. And but I was looking up videos, and all these people there's just a billion options. It's the paradox of choice. It's like, okay, well, here's 50 cameras to choose from. And then you got to focus on a lens. And they're talking about millimeters and little frames and big ones. I don't know. It's a world I'm not super familiar with. All I know is that I bought a camera many years ago, and there's a 20-minute limit on it, which has to do with some tax thing a long time ago. It's weird. But yeah, if you have any recommendations, I need a good camera. Let me know. That would be good, because I want to shoot this with a little better quality. I want to kind of take it to the next level. I think the audio's fine. I got all the audio stuff with that. I really want to start doing like interviews with people that I'm interested in. I can tell too that there's part of me I'm like nervous to try it, because I'll go, maybe I won't be a good interviewer. Or maybe, but that's like anything. It's like I know. Oh shit! Look at that. Speaking of things going poorly wrong, I just lost the footage. That's good, but that's all right, because now you're just seeing my logo. Wonderful. That's all right. There's only a minute left. This is why I need a camera, folks. This is for those of you just listening. I did on Spotify or some other audio platform. Yeah, I just lost the footage, but it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, folks, let's wrap this up. Clearly, my phone wants me to wrap it up. Thanks so much for enjoying the show. Thanks for watching the show. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. It's always a pleasure. Every Wednesday, free online, YouTube, Spotify, all the podcast platform areas. And then Saturday, if you'd like to support the show, Saturday, where I do a bonus Patreon episode every Saturday. It's the same exact show. It's the best way to support the show. If you enjoyed this show enough, you can sign up there. You can also sign up and get autographed pictures and T-shirts, and you can Skype with me and a handful of other options. So thanks so much for supporting the show. Hope you guys are doing well. Take care of yourselves. Huh? Take care of yourself. What are you doing? You're sitting on Twitter all day? Don't do that. Are you switching through Snapchat? Settle down. Settle down. Don't be looking at Instagram for 12 hours. You animals. All right. It's good to see you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you Saturday. If not Saturday, we'll be back next Wednesday to discuss the next episode. My episode. And until then, folks, keep doing your thing. Keep moving forward. And we will see you then.